Good morning, Adams County. It's Friday, and this week we're going to be talking about what it's like to be living in a college dorm, since many of you are getting ready to be heading off into your fall semesters and are going to be living on campus and with a new roommate. So we're going to be talking about what it's like to live with a roommate, things you might need to bring along for your dorm room, and just a couple other tidbits about dorm life. So typically during your first year, there's going to be two types of residence halls, and they're going to be your suite style hall and your traditional hall. Here at Millersville University, there's a couple different residence style halls, some of which are suite and some of more of a traditional style. You can see over here, these are some of your suite style dorms, brand new, just finished this past year. And now we're also going to go take a look inside this building here, the South Village, which is also a new set of suite style dorms. And these dorms can be for any grade, not just for upperclassmen. Many colleges will put their first year students into a traditional style hall, and that's the kind of hall that you're most familiar with, which is you and a roommate sharing one room, and there's maybe one or two bathrooms on the floor that you share with the other people on the floor. There's a lot of variation when it comes to the suite style as to what the general layout of your suite will look like. Some of them, as you'll see later in this video, will be just kind of two rooms with a shared communal/bathroom area, whereas others might be two or more rooms and maybe one or two bathrooms plus a kitchen and a common room and all this other stuff. So moral of the story with the suites is that there are lots of different floor plans, and depending on what floor plan you choose, it's going to alter how big your suite's going to end up being. You know you're living in a fancy dorm when it's got an elevator in it. And as you can see here, there's going to be multiple rooms on your floor, so you're going to have lots of neighbors with you, no matter what type of dorm you're in, even for this dorm, which is a suite style dorm. And just so you can get an idea what this dorm looks like, you can see here we've got two single rooms in this suite, kind of a shared sink and bathroom out here, and then a shared bathroom in here. And this is just for these two rooms in here, this bathroom is. So it's a fairly compact room, makes it nice and easy to use for both you and your roommate. Regardless of whether you're doing a traditional or a suite style residence hall choice, you're probably going to end up having a roommate. Even if you're in one of the suites, you're going to be sharing that suite with someone else. So it's important to know how to function when you're living with a roommate. But not only will you be living with your roommate, in all likelihood there's going to be multiple suites or rooms on your floor, so you're going to be living with a whole floor full of neighbors. So it's important to know how to live not only with your roommate, but also how to function with the rooms surrounding yours as well. And this knowing how to live with these people also includes the common areas and common spaces that you might be sharing on your floor or within your building. Here's an example of one of the common room spaces, which looks like also might double as a classroom. But regardless, you can come in here, do some work with, or just by yourself, or you with some friends. You can also have a lovely view of some of the other residence halls out here. End of this lovely construction site where they're building some more residence halls, which will hopefully be just as nice as the ones here. And a lovely view of the sun. It's quite nice. Here's a second common room space. You can see it's much more organized around this big TV here, so you can come watch all the games with your friends here. Your hall might also have a shared kitchen like this one, where you can come and use this fridge or this stovetop, and even this oven. There's also some vending machines in here where you can get some late night snacks and drinks as well. Alright, so let's talk about what life is going to be like living inside of this dorm room. The first thing I want to address is your roommate. Probably the most important thing about living with someone is being able to respect their space and their things. So while you and your roommate might be friends, you might not be friends, you might be best friends, or you might not be. But no matter what relationship you have with your roommate, it's important that you really do respect each other and each other's spaces. It'll really help you get along throughout the year and make sure that no conflicts arise. However, if a conflict does arise between you and your roommate, make sure that you tell them what's happening and how you're feeling, because they're not going to be able to help fix the problem if they don't know that there is one. So if there is ever an issue in your room, do bring it up either with you and your roommate, or maybe talk to your RA that's on your floor. You also have to remember to be respectful and courteous to your neighbors too, and this means that you shouldn't be blaring music at all hours of the night, or even during the day really. Most of your dorms will have what are called quiet hours, and this is when you're supposed to be respectful of those who live around you and not be doing anything super loud. Usually this happens after 10 o'clock at night when people might be trying to go to sleep or work on homework. Depending on your learning style, as we talked about in an earlier video, you may not actually want to do work in your room anyhow. But even still, you gotta be respectful of what your roommate wants to do in terms of where they like to do their work, and what the people on your floor want to do in terms of how they do their work. But just keep in mind that trying to do work in your room might be a very distracting experience for you. Kind of along the lines of deciding where you want to do your work, You have to remember that now that you're kind of on your own and are more independent, you're really going to have to police yourself in terms of when you go to bed, when you do your work, even doing your own laundry. So it's important that you do keep these things in mind in terms of you're planning your overall daily schedule to make sure that you can fit all these things in and still get a reasonable amount of sleep, which you know the importance of from an earlier video this summer. Alright, so now I just want to talk about a couple points that you want to keep in mind about living in a dorm, and also a few tips on what you might want to bring with you to use in your dorm room. First of all, if you are a sleep talker or a sleepwalker, you should probably let your roommate know that as soon as you meet them, or if you already have met them either online or through Facebook or whatever, you should let them know that you might be an active sleeper, just so that way they're prepared for it the first time it happens. The second thing you might want to think about is whether your floor is co-ed or whether you will be on the same gender floor as everyone around you. Some colleges might have it that every room alternates gender, so you might be next to a room of guys or a room of girls, whereas other colleges will alternate gender based on floor. So you might be on a floor of all girls, whereas the floor above you might be all guys. So it's important to know whether you'll be sharing the floor with a bunch of guys or a bunch of girls, but there will be bathrooms for each respective gender, so you don't have to worry about that intermingling happening. Some other things they might want to bring along with you are, first of all, make sure you bring along extra long twin bed sheets. If they aren't extra long, they probably won't fit on your mattress, and then it's going to be really upsetting for you when you try and go to sleep and your feet stick out the bottom of your sheets. So do make sure you get the extra long twin size sheets. It'll save you a lot of trouble. You might also want to bring along some alternate sources of lighting, such as maybe some Christmas lights that you want to hang from your ceiling, maybe a lamp for your desk, or a clip-on lamp that you can put on your bed. Depending on the style of bed, you might want to bring some bed risers along, or you might just want to bunk your bed with your roommate. That's up to you once you get to your hall to decide how it is you want to organize your room, but do make that decision with your roommate, don't just decide for them how to arrange the room. Storage is oftentimes pretty limited in your first year hall, so you might want to bring along some extra storage containers that you can use to hold various objects. So you might want to bring along a tower of drawers that you can use to store things in, or maybe some big tubs that you can slide underneath your bed. You might also want to bring along a shower caddy, or maybe even some shower shoes, especially if you're on one of those floors where everyone is sharing your bathroom. If you're in a suite, it's probably not as much of a big deal. However, it is important to note that if you're in a suite, you're going to be responsible for cleaning your own bathroom and sink and whatnot. Whereas if you have a communal bathroom for the floor, that is going to be cleaned and taken care of by the college for you. If you can think of anything else that might be important to bring along to college, put it down in the comments so everyone else can see it too. And that brings us now to an equally important room in your dorm, which is the laundry room. So there's the age-old debate whether you have to separate things by color or not. You might even say to separate or not to separate, that is the question. So that's really up to you whether you choose to separate by color or not, or lights or darks, whatever works for you. But either way, probably some sort of separation is going to have to occur so that your laundry doesn't change colors when it comes out. Depending on how your college does it, your laundry machines might either be coin or card operated. So that's what you can figure out maybe when you do a tour of the campus, or once you're on campus living there, you can figure out which is the right system for you. This is Millersville's laundry room, so you can see lots of different washers in here that then transition into the dryers over here. So in this room, you can either do things through the card system, or you can do things on the machine through coins, whichever one is preferable for you. And just as a general common courtesy, do try and keep track of how long your laundry's been in the machine, so that way when other people come and do laundry, they don't have to take yours out to do it. And don't be that person that takes out someone else's laundry to do yours. Maybe if you're gonna do that, just put it in the dryer for them instead of throwing it on the floor or just on top of the machine. It'll make everyone's day a lot better if you do that.